The Zorn palette, if you know what it is, would you want to use it? And if you don't know what it is, I'll explain that in this video right here. Hey everybody, I'm Ken Brant, and I'm an artist. So the Zorn palette is pretty much a limited palette, and it is exactly what I used to paint this figure painting right here. It's made up of 4 colors, and it was used by famous painter and artist Anders Zorn, and he used it primarily with his portraiture paintings, and he's noted for his portraitures. They're beautiful. He also did some landscape paintings, and if you look at those paintings, you'll notice there's some vibrant greens, he has some blues in there, he has some other colors that are not on the Zorn palette. So he didn't use the Zorn palette exclusively. However, he is noted for it, it's named after him, and I'm going to explain what that is. It's 4 colors that he used: titanium white, yellow ochre, vermilion, which is very similar to a cadmium red light, I would say. So it's vermilion. It can be used more for glazing as opposed to the cadmium red, because the cadmiums are a bit more opaque. But he used vermilion instead for his red. And for his blue, he really didn't use a blue. He used ivory black, which if you mix it with the yellow ochre or the titanium white, you can get a very dull bluish gray. With the yellow ochre, it's almost it's almost a muddy gray, actually. And those were the colors that he used on his palette. So in this time lapse, I used the Zorn palette, and I paint this figure painting. I think the Zorn palette was very effective in this painting. Would I use the Zorn palette again? I would probably use it. I'm thinking I would add at least 2 or 3 more colors to it. I'm not really too keen on not having that blue on my palette. I really like to have the blue. I like to mix it. And for me, I've worked with enough skin colors to know that there is green. I do like to put green in the skin. It does make for a really nice effect, and so you can't really achieve that with the Zorn palette. Do you need it? I don't know. It really depends on what you're painting and how it's going to look. It really comes down to the end result. His portraits are beautiful, so it worked for Anders Zorn. Did it work for me? I think it worked. I'm happy with it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. If you have any comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the bell notification. So here are my 4 colors: my titanium white, the yellow ochre, the vermilion, and the ivory black. The 4 colors of the Zorn palette. So I'm beginning the painting with a mixture of the yellow ochre and the vermilion and the ivory black, and pretty much I just used the titanium white or more black to change the value of the colors that I'm using. So really the only 2 colors per se, if you want to think of colors, is the yellow ochre and the vermilion. The white and the black, again, I'm only using them strictly for value changes. So I pretty much did the background utilizing those colors. And for the skin color, I just took the yellow ochre and the vermilion and mixed those 2 together, and then I darkened. Again, I just used the titanium white or the ivory black as a value change for the skin tone. I did utilize some of the background color, the dark background color, to enhance the darker areas of the skin, but primarily it was just pretty much a mixture of the vermilion and the yellow ochre. For the hair, I pretty much just used vermilion and a mixture of the ivory black. And for the dress, that is straight ivory black and titanium white. And you can see the bluish value or the bluish tone of the ivory black when it's mixed with the titanium white. So you do get a dull bluish gray. And if you notice in the background here, you can see the titanium whites mixing with the background colors of the yellow ochre, the ivory black, and the vermilion. You can see the gray it's a different colored gray. So I wouldn't say it has a bluish tint to it like the dress does. I'd say it's more in the reddish area, so it has more of a brownish hue to it. So I would almost call it a muddy gray. So basically the Zorn palette worked nicely. I was able to achieve some very decent skin colors using this Zorn palette, just utilizing just the yellow ochre and the vermilion. I really would like to have added more colors to it. I think the use of titanium white for value changes tends to create a chalky effect on the painting. Not that that's unpleasant. Sometimes a chalky effect is what you're going for, but I would have liked a crisper color look to the painting as opposed to that chalkiness. So I may go over this later with a glaze and kind of tone down that chalkiness. But all in all, I'm happy with how it came out. I like the way it looks, and if this is something that you would like to experiment, these 4 colors, I think it's a great idea, especially if you're a beginner with oil painting. Just utilizing those 4 colors makes it very simple, and you really learn how to work your values on your painting when you're using the Zorn palette. So hey, until the next time, this is Ken Brant, and I will see you later. Are you interested in learning how to oil paint? You don't know where to begin or start, and you need a little help along the way? Well, no matter what level of artistic ability you're at, whether you are capable of painting something along the lines like this, or you can't even draw a stick figure, give me a call at area code 607-481-9442. Let me coach you and teach you how to become the best artist that you can be. Let me take your paintings to the next level. Also, make sure you visit my website at www.kennethbrant.com and make sure you join my email newsletter. Again, that's area code 607-481-9442. And let me help you become the best that you can be. Oh, I should be looking at the camera. Take 2. And I'm going to show you how I utilize that particular palette in this painting and what I thought about it. Okay, so and I'm going to show you how I utilized that palette with this painting here, and I think it's a and I'm not going to tell you what I think because I have no friggin' idea.